All right. So I found out about this thing Obsidian through a YouTuber that I really like, who's a coding YouTuber. And my intention with this is if you're familiar with the idea of a second brain, then Obsidian is perfect for that. So basically, I'm going to try to outsource everything that I learn, everything that I'm thinking onto my computer, and it'll help me with all the things that I'm learning, retain them, keep them, and use them at a later time. But it'll also mean that when I learn something, I can share it with my community instantly. So it's almost like you can just chop off the part of my brain that's relevant to what you're learning, um, and then download that into your own. So I'm really excited to give this a try. I'm going to give it a week of my time. Day one, I really just want to follow this like fully comprehensive tutorial, um, and hopefully at least get the basics of how to use this Obsidian tool. And then I'm gonna start putting everything in here from um, my thoughts as a YouTuber to new things that I'm learning. Right now, I'm trying to get my professional Scrum Master level 1 cert. So that's a certification that you can get and can instantly boost the amount of money that you're making. Um, and then I'll be able to share it with you guys. So excited to give this a try. Let's get started into the tutorial.
That name whether you like, so I'm just going to put it into my desktop.
Okay, give me 1 second.
By the way, whenever I say command, you can just replace that with control in Windows. So for example, command is probably control in Windows. So command and press new note, and then just start off with my note. And here is the editor. You type word like it as you might expect for a note. But you actually create this, so the files up here, so let's just say new note, this one, and you see that that's been reflected in this left-hand section here. When you create a new folder, the new folder will also pop up in the folder that you define your work in. So let's just say I want to create a daily note, and it's going to be very important later. You just click this sort of top left bit there to create a new folder. Now to obviously move note, you just drag this note into there and now it's new daily notes. But
So let's go back and watch that because I was just testing the audio.
it's in order. When we go to Obsidian, you can see that nothing's here. So let me run through the general layout of Obsidian. This is your note spot. So when you create a new note, just press command in right there. And by the way, whenever I say command, you can just replace that with control in Windows. So for example, command is probably control in Windows. So command and press new note, and then just start off with my note. And here is the editor. You type word like this as you might expect for a note. But you actually create these notes, so the files up here. So let's just say new note, this one, and you can see that that's been reflected in this left-hand section here. When you create a new folder, the new folder will also pop up in the folder that you define your work in. So let's just say I want to create a daily note, and it's going to be very important later. You just click this sort of top left bit there to create a new folder. Now to obviously move note, you just drag this note into there and now it's new daily notes. But in this left-hand section here, when you create a new folder, the new folder will also pop up in the folder that you define your work in.
So you can just add a folder, and I'll call this Scrum.
So let's just say I want to create a daily note, and it's going to be very important later. You just click this sort of top left bit there to create a new folder. Now to obviously move note, you just drag this note into there and now it's new daily notes.
Okay, and he has something called daily notes. We're going to drop the other note inside.
But when you go to your actual folder, you can see now that with my Markdown vault, it has created a new daily folder, and then you can decide it's our note that we just created. You note that it's called a .md file. So a .md file stands for Markdown. Markdown is a really common way to publish content on the internet, and it's just a universally accepted format for internet things. So for example, if I was to just type this and then try to make it bold, there's two ways to do that. You guys do the traditional method of highlighting it and then pressing Command B, Control B, and then you notice that it's a bit weird. I can't believe that's just right. And so the way that Markdown works is it's kind of like the same language how really does when you type in symbols as a format. So for example, if I was just type just and it'll come up with backlinks like that. So you just type a line, that's just right. Sometimes it's a bit weird. You have a link, for example, you can make it so that you have square bracket and then open round like that. So like here. But these are just drop links. For example, let's say that this is a link, and once you do that, you highlight the link highlight and you press OK, and that's the same thing you type in Word if you want. So that's very useful. But pretty ugly, right? When I first started doing like this, I thought that this, I don't look at all these attributes and all that stuff. So what you do is you actually have settings, and the settings is always called on the left side here. So way back to all things. When you go to settings, you can go to the editor part, and then by default it says use the editor, and you can switch it off.
Okay, so I'll see what mine looks like. Editor, legacy editor. That's got to be the same thing, source mode. We'll see.
And when you relaunch it, it will come up with live preview. And so that's much as you can see that when you're editing actual things, for example, this is old text, when you're editing individual sentences, it'll still like that temporarily while you're editing it, but you actually go to the sentence, then it'll just format like you would have.
Versus when we go, so it looks like that's a little out of date, but that's the same thing. Oh, so I did the wrong thing, but is that it? There we go. So 2 asterisks.
But I'll just let some of that, so it's all done. But for the purposes of this story, I'm going to keep it in source mode. The reason being that it's easier for you to visualize. But like, even if you have this, you can actually preview it in a way that
So he does keep it. Okay.
is much more nice. And so if you just want to put these glasses icon here, then you can see now that it's the same thing, but I'm doing the text types of stuff. And so that's when you're reading content and stuff, and you use that particular function. Now, so all about this stuff, it doesn't really seem that there's much yet. This is going to add some more interesting function and talk about what makes Obsidian so useful and knowledge software. So the first thing first, I actually want to create a note, and the note is actually like when you go to the site, got some options, but the note is something you create. So you go to settings and then the core plugins, go to user plugin, for example, and activate this. Now, by the way, the core plugin.
Okay, daily notes is already enabled for me.
Plugins will provide that as well. So now that I've created the note, using the here, it's like, and if you do that, then it's one of the notes, and this is my note with a date size of almost 22, 6, so because I did that right now. You can that you want to. So you can go to settings, go to notes, and then you can click on there, and then you can find. So for example, it looks like 22/June/May, the process moment, but you want to change it to say June 3rd. You want to do that to be like this, so just month, day, then here, and then you make it so nice like that. You want folder to be a folder, because otherwise you just pop it all, root folder with notes and so on. So with the note folder you create for daily notes, that's what I do. I also tend to open daily notes up because for me the daily note is the start of where I get all my ideas. Every single note that I've created started from daily note. Or like these ideas that don't really have structure, I think daily notes because you don't know where they go. If you have an idea as to where they go, then you obviously put it in there directly. But that's daily notes are a rough draft of the information. So how to do that, I'm just going to do the same note for anyone's.
Okay. So that's interesting. Year, month, day. That's fine. I do like that idea of opening a daily note on startup. Because it just gets you started. With like the snowball of whatever you're trying to learn. So I'll keep that.
And that's really cool. I'm going to make it up. Let's talk a little bit about links. Because we'll talk about stuff that just seems pretty basic at the moment. And you need to know this obviously because I'll talk about using. But let's talk about links in particular. Because the way links work in Obsidian is when you type a concept or a topic idea or something like that, then that's what I can create as a link. Because every single link I create is a page. Let's say that here are some notes about Obsidian. Right, this is links. And then I'm going to here and highlight that. And then if you press this where brackets will fill twice, it'll make this link. And well, it means that if you press command click, then it'll come to a page. If I just made a page, you see there's a page here and create that page dynamically. So here I type word text. And you know something interesting. You can actually reference pages from the pages now. So let's say I want to reference this. Let's just have a just keep our concept of deep. So in here, I can reference that if I want to, and be like, okay, like I'm going to talk about like I like drinking, and then you start typing. You come up with a nice word complete, and usually it's very powerful. So I have a link between tea leaves and Obsidian, and I want to link tea leaves with the day of the daily working like that. So now this is a very basic example, but this is just a.
Oh, okay. So you can link all of the information together, and that creates those nodes, that topography of like a second brain.
Like see how things go. So you might go to do this and be like, oh, I get back links between stuff and Obsidian, but you know, like links, why is Obsidian so? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually show you what it's like in actual notes, because the problem with Obsidian is that you don't realize how useful it is until you make color notes, and then you start to that perhaps couldn't be meaningful. So if I show you my real team, so I'm going to go out into Obsidian. So I'm going to do search for notes. Let's go to open notes, and I'm going to search for this particular one. The data central. Now the data central, I've made this particular concept. Actually, it came from when I was reading Power Style. This is about relationships, and really interesting because the book is talking about dating, how to find relationships. Is some people try to optimize relationships so much, they just keep finding, and always trying to get 5% and if I think what is out there, we have to spend with. And so the book said that exactly what will help, which is that by 37% of people try to optimize relationships so much, they just keep finding, and always trying to get 5% and if I think what is out there, we have to spend the best I can with. And so the book said that exactly what will help, which is that by 37% of your daily life, set the best person, the partner that you're in a relationship with as your benchmark, and then go for someone who's as good or better than them. And then generally speaking, that's a manual optimization of like the best partner choice you do, whilst also like you have like a and stuff. So you may or may not agree with that concept, it's just fun. But I decided to make it a topic because I thought 37% rule is actually an interesting concept about what's called problem solving. And I didn't realize it, but it actually comes from a book called How to Live. So I created a separate note for that as well because I intend to read that at the same time. But the reason for creating this concept is because this concept, I feel like this concept is not just something that applies to dating, obviously. It's a method concept that can be used in a lot of things as well, right? So I created it as a concept. And so I had different concepts here and the top here, and for example, the actual concept is called here. Again, I found this I would live by here, and then I type book here. So I can remember if I just remember the rule, but not the book which it came from, then when I search or type anything to do with 37% rule, then I can go back and be like, oh, these are examples of how the 37% rule actually works. But all these links, like you have to see every time I mention a link. And so this is the idea of backlinks. You just right inside and you can understand. You notice that you actually got this backlinks for 37%.
So it seems like the links not only help you navigate around and create, it's almost like a placeholder for a thought, but it also lets you search really effectively.
And And I can see from that document I had before, the book notes about how to download. Actually, I can see where's mentioned this 37% rule in the context of that. I'm thinking about full setting on stage, and so I haven't had much about saying this is how the 37% rule is arrived, but 37% maybe the percentages. So I created this page about full setting because I thought, like the 37% rule is a nice design rule, but there's probably other examples of full setting that doesn't quite fit within that. Let me show you what it looks like on my YouTube notes, for example, because I think that's another example that I spend a lot of time on. Now, we'll talk about the difference between different percentages in a second, but this is mainly just to show you things. So this is something I've created, which is a huge document talking about YouTube and everything I learned about YouTube. I'm not going to go on that, but that's something. So for example, I'm going to go to here, and you can see that I've linked out these different pages. So for example, I made a note in YouTube algorithm, and that note is actually a compilation of many notes about things. Now I should also mention about editing too, but here you can see that if I go into editing mode, then where I paste images in, for example, say I quickly copy an image like this and just copy and paste by using Command D, which is good, it automatically pastes the image in there, so that's kind of nice. But anyway, whenever I have like some book or some article where I'm reading, usually I put a note, like full note to actually capture that, and I call that literature note. The literature notes, I try to broadly think about if I want some semblance of organization. For example, YouTube is my big thing at the moment, so I'll put that literature note in the video concept. So in this case, YouTube algorithm, I paste one where it's here, and I'm clicking that really easily, and just flick back and forth to my notes. You can see how notes can really start to be this network of just one thing to another, and that's essentially what the internet is, right? So the word internet composed words inter and net, because we're reading from one note to another like that. And so that's the beauty of Obsidian, is that your mind can be completely undefined, unstructured, but you're just gradually adding information here, using these links and linking them together. You can see if you have a concept, where the concept has been before in your other documents, and you can look at the algorithms if you want to as well. I can actually take a lot of images. Eventually, what will happen now, this is just a fun visualization more than anything else, is if you create all these notes at a time, like these are all notes I've created, they will link to each other, and you can see the graphical knowledge as it's just a graph.
So, so this is his. Each one of these dots are either a piece of notes or like a folder that he's created. Wow. So how did he do that? Let's see. And I'll show you what mine looks like.
I can actually take a lot of images. Eventually, what will happen now, this is just a fun visualization. And you can look at the outgoing links if you wanted to as well. In my particular case, there's a lot of pasted images. Eventually, what will happen, now this is just a fun visualization more than anything else, is if you create a lot of these notes over time.
I don't know how he did that. Ayo. Okay, so this is my.
Like these are all the nodes that I've created. They will link to each other, and you can see the graphical knowledge. This is just a graph that's on mapping on the left hand side there, pull up a graph view, and then you like the one, so you want to because it's zoom in, it's a YouTube node. And then so all these concepts that affect together, and also context. For example, if I want to just like something that pastes something like I put path, paste, so another one case. If I was to add more, I use graph view, that one, because it's really great. So hopefully that explains the concept of links. Before I step off the idea of what link does and how it's powerful, I actually want to talk about something important, which is what do you actually make a link? I mean, you make an internet concept link, you make something that's like you'd be like web up, it's like you talk about what YouTube is. And I think that the one thing is that links are just to help you organize. You don't have to define every single concept. For example, like if I'm talking about an episode video, like I don't have to go and find this video and be like, oh yeah, I should page media, physical videos, page that, like it's unnecessary, right? So rather than thinking about that, what you want to do is I tend to use two things. I use it for when I'm taking my literature notes. So in the case of like a book, for example, I might write peak is what I read about little practice reasoning. Sometimes I might reference a concept, and so a concept like the 37% rule is a really good one because I know that I'm going to reuse that concept. Occasionally, I actually might take someone's quote and use that as well. So for example, sometimes I talk about Mr. Beast on YouTube. So for example, Mr. Beast, I would use something like, I know that he said once that if you put 10% more effort for a video, you'll get 10 times more views rather than 10% more views as most people might expect. So sometimes I'll actually make quotes because I know I'm going to reuse that piece of information and then put it back into another document I'm talking about. So here, if you see that I'm going to put brackets and I just connects, and then actually comes up with that quote. Yeah, and exactly. So I use links whenever I want to reuse a concept in some way or form, and where sometimes I need to pay for the concept. Even sometimes when I don't need to pay for the concept, I'll still use a link just because I can call it so easily. You might think, oh, if I do that across like hundreds of notes, then surely when I'm searching for something, it's going to be really convoluted and stuff. But actually, the second is really good for using working context. So for example, let's say that I wanted to talk about a little practice maybe. So I mean, I haven't a lot of practice, but yeah, I can search really easily. And if I even just set words that are roughly in a sentence but not actually connected, then I can do that too. So you don't have to create a link for everything. Just create links where you want to resurface and use a concept. If you're not sure whether you're going to resurface or use a concept, go ahead, just create a link. I'm free. Note that with links, something that's very handy is that you can actually include.
Here's what I'll do. This tutorial. Oh, I got a ton of stuff. I think that'll work, hopefully.
Parts within link. So sometimes I'm really now is even I talk about but you actually use tags and that kind of thing. Like in the second thing, tags, like this is one and yeah, it's more, even more, right? And stuff here is right. So it's really good things. But the main three. The first thing, is thinking about things. So that's actually easier.
Let me go back. What's the difference between those two subheadings?
Yeah, it's different. I talked about basic before, but you can actually use hashtags things and that creates a thing like this. You can nest headings within the things. So for example, two hashtags will be like this is a small heading and yeah, it's smaller, even smaller, right? And then stuff goes in here, here is right, and then so there's really good reasons for using headings, but these are the main three. The first one is indexing. Indexing you can copy settings, so that's very nice. That just want to make things easier. The second is that with headings, you can actually reference the headings from other documents. So let's say that I go to my daily note, right? Oh, sorry, this is my daily note. I'm gonna put just like reference as another note. Actually, what I can do is I'm gonna select everything here, right click it, extract current selection, and then create a new document. So new document. that is used for reference. And then you can see that I've actually refactored it into a new page by itself. So you can just type in notes and you decide, hey, I actually want to make it a separate page. You can highlight it, right click it, and extract from selection. And then you can put you want. And then it means that if I want to use the headings for the document, so we've gone back to our daily notes, which is right here, and so that's where we're currently existing. And you know, it's nice, like you just click on the preview mode, you just see the link there. But if I wanted to reference the heading, I'll write hashtag. And then remember the headings I created before? Those headings you can access. So for example, I can do hashtag even smaller. And so that means that when I actually click on this, it's going to go to an even smaller part of the document. That's kind of nice. But let's say that I'm actually collecting a whole bunch of stuff, and in fact, I want to use that exclamation mark here at the very beginning. When you go to preview the document, what happens is that it will actually display the contents of the heading as well. So now you've got these atomic concepts, and you can actually, almost write whole books. You can write whole articles and whole books out of the stuff that you've already written before. You may not want to do that necessarily, but you can. If you want to, you can actually use this caret, this upward arrow, and you can actually link it to individual blocks as well. So for example, you might have paragraph text that you want to specifically link. So you just use caret instead, and then although it's a bit ugly there, but it will just reference that particular part. Because as you recall, if I go here, this is the particular bit of reference. So if you don't
I'll have to look into how to do that. So
reference heading, just reference a particular paragraph instead. Super duper powerful. You can see how this would be very useful. If you might have a document about a concept where you just want to reference a particular paragraph, whether in medicine, whether in consulting, whether in science or research, that's really good. You might have a whole bunch of notes on a research paper, and you just want to reference one part of the research paper. Well, that's how you do it in Kotlin 2 note. Now, you've been seeing me sort of awkwardly flicking back and forth, and you must be thinking right now, surely there's a better way than just flicking back and forth like this. Do I just into Obsidian, Windows, or something like that? The answer is that you can actually make a new pane with Obsidian. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to more options, I'm going to split it. Make a new pane with Obsidian. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to more options, I'm going to split it vertically, and then you can see that I've got these two panes now. You can tell which pane is being activated by the little underline, obviously. And then if I create a new note here, and let's say that
that's cool.
I'm just going to do some research document. Then I can be like, I wanted to grab bits and pieces from here and just copy paste that. I could reference it if I wanted to. It'd be like that bit in the new document was pretty cool. So new document to reference, and I'll just type caret and then be like, that is like here's right. And so that's my new research document there. And so you can use this left hand side to go through wherever you want to command let's say I was talking about Paddy Galloway and running document research. Well, here I might be like, I'll include this bit saying how to block the second channel, because that seems like a really interesting thing to keep in mind for the random document. You can see that if I just type how to blow up a second channel, that's not the way, right? Because you're not using the heading, you're actually using the note title ideally. And so you might go Paddy Galloway and then you type the caret, or you can type hashtag to just have headings. And it's not going to display by default until you use the exclamation mark like this, and then it will display that in a box like that. So hopefully by showing this, actually why links can be extraordinarily useful for essentially repurposing parts of information and putting it into new information that you have. This is a very powerful way of synthesizing new knowledge and just gathering knowledge into one place. You can also create new thoughts and original ideas and play them all in documents like that in a sort of atomic, really interesting way. In this video, I want to talk about hashtags, because hashtags is something that actually lets you search for things a lot easier. And it's not just about headings, but let me say that for this video. In this video, I'm going to talk about hashtags and how they can help you search. When you're writing things in Obsidian, you want to think like a writer, not like an archiver. And this is actually a concept from David Kadavi's book, The Digital Wizard of Peston, which actually I got a lot of inspiration from.
Okay, so my thoughts so far. Let's see what this next section is. Hashtags, also known as an octothorpe, or more formally known as an octothorpe. So first impressions, like right out the gate, this seems like a super powerful thing to have. I'm really excited to start learning, but it's definitely going to take some getting used to. And the nice thing about this one is I can export any of these files and share it, like full trees of thought, which is pretty cool. And then, like he said, you can reference things and start building out content really quick, which is also an interesting concept. As you become an expert on something, you can start referencing old thoughts to quickly create content, which is cool. It'd be a fun project to kind of take something like this and try to turn it into like an AI clone persona. That would be really cool. Maybe I'll do that at some point.
the course. It's a really good course. You can definitely check it out if you're interested. What a hashtag is? So let's say I'm just going to talk about YouTube/storytelling because that's something I focus a heck of a lot on, right? And I might be like, I want to have a concept which I can search later, but there may not be necessarily a prompt for that concept. I might in the future think I want to improve my YouTube storytelling. Let me just try to collate all the information I've got on YouTube storytelling in the past. And so one way you can do that is that you sort of know in advance. You might be like, oh yeah, well I'll just create a YouTube storytelling note, right? And suddenly that's a viable way to do it, and you can put stuff in there. I think the way to do it is actually instead of creating a separate note for it, because you can see I've been accessing that note. It's not very big out. Just the fact that I've been thinking about YouTube storytelling for literally years. And the reason is because I put everything on hashtags that I'm going to know that I can search. So if I'm like, I should think about how anime applies to YouTube storytelling. I might do that, for example, right? And so it means that if I go to the search function of the top of the field, and then I start typing to search, I can actually search by tags. And so in this case, I type the tag YouTube storytelling, and then I can see all the times that on my different daily notes, I had thought about it. And that's why I'm using daily notes, because daily notes means that you can just refresh the page and you don't have to worry about stuff you thought about before. Because that's easily searchable. So here, I've obviously thought about like, oh yeah, I could animate with Cintiq and do stuff like expand maps with my hands and stuff and composite that. And then, I've got different concepts I use storytelling that I thought about, and I can collate it into some sort of document. So for example, I might want to be like, I need to distill some of these because this is very interesting and that's academic for sure. But having all these unrelated concepts that are just sort of out there in the world, they're out there in my daily notes, they're not really that functional yet. They're just raw data waiting to be mined and distilled into something that I can actually use. So I will create like a new pane here. So vertically, I'm going to shorten this, and then I'm going to use this to open up my YouTube literature note, which is my baby note, which is my favorite child of this entire Obsidian thing. And then I'll be like, well, let me go to the section that talks about storytelling, talking about storytelling for attention. So I might want to add some more stuff and be like, let's see. I love this idea that I can use a something in Blender, something 3D modeling software, and then put it in. So I might reference that particular idea and put it into here. The way I'll do that is I can simply go type in the 010522 because that's the document I've got open, and then use the caret, and then go to this which talks about 3D Blender, and then include it there. So when I actually, oops, sorry, it's not expanded. So you can actually click the exclamation mark, and then it will be expanded as a separate concept. Yeah, which is great. And so you can see how you can just go and essentially collate different things. You can do the research on the left hand side, and then you can use the right hand side to do sort of more formal, more structured note. So that's basically how hashtags work. And so that makes search very, very powerful. Now, hashtags, sometimes I forget which tags you actually made. So in this particular case, there's a plugin called Tag Pane, and that can show you the tags and the references. So if you go to Tag Pane here and activate that, then you see I've talked about YouTube quite a bunch, and then I can, when I click there, it'll automatically.
So here's how I'll do this. See what I did? Okay. So one thing that I don't like is that. I don't know how to get around that. Okay. All right. So okay.
Search for the tag in the left hand side there. So I don't need to remove tag. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit convoluted because of the fact you can't actually search these tags properly. Next video, you're probably wondering, I can use tags, I can use links, but what do I do? Like, should I use tags or use links? And that's what I want to talk about in the next video. Just around. Okay, so on to the next video. And the question is, when should I use links?
Okay. So this is cool because I'm actually getting practice with okay.
When should I use hashtags? Now, the time that you want to use links. Links are when you want concepts, pages, reusable stuff basically. But hashtags are fundamentally about searchability. So
Okay.
So the aim of a hashtag is basically you just want something that, broadly speaking, if you search for a hashtag and, for example, you can find YouTube storytelling as one I tend to use, so tags, YouTube storytelling, then you want to categorize a particular topic, but you don't necessarily know what the structure of that topic is. I tend to use hashtags for that, and that's very, very useful for you getting just random bits of information that may be vaguely related to a topic. Hashtags are purely a searchability thing. It means that you put it as the tag, as a separate thing in the search bar, and then you might, for the time tags, for example, I might be like, oh, I want to just see the times that Yahweh has talked about YouTube storytelling. So that's when you use a tag. Links, on the other hand, you can use a link just to see, like, a link is like a separate node that you created, and you can see what links to that node and create something that's a bit more structured. So I use hashtags as categories, but those categories are categories that I know are meaningful to me. They're not just things like hashtag music, because, for example, that could mean anything. Do I mean music composition? Do I mean music theory? Do I mean just music I like listening to? There's a lot of different aspects in hashtag music, right? So just creating a very, very broad hashtag is not actually that useful. Rather, you should think hashtags as having some sort of purpose. I have a particular intention when I write this hashtag, and I know that intention is the thing I'm going to be thinking about when I'm searching for a particular concept. For example, I know that YouTube storytelling is a really important part of being a good YouTuber. When I want to research ways I can improve based on the different notes I've taken in the past but haven't really distilled down, I'm going to use the hashtag YouTube/storytelling to gather my different thoughts there, and then use it in the research like I've done before. So hashtags should be categories with intent, and then links should be topics, concepts, research, articles, etc. Let me show you a few of my notes just to illustrate the concept further, and this is the unique part of this course, so because I feel like this just needs a bit more explanation, a few more actual examples of people using it. So let me show you how I use it in my actual notes, because I feel like that demonstration is going to illustrate a lot better than perhaps this theoretical thing, which kind of feels hard to grasp at the moment. So here's a fairly reasonable note on the 27th of May. So here, I'm thinking about a different YouTube channel called the Analysis channel. It's a channel that exists to do YouTube case studies on successful YouTube videos, and I try to document all my stuff that regards to YouTube into this category of W's YouTube journey. So W's YouTube journey, if I go to that, it's empty because eventually I'll come back and summarize it based on the different times I mentioned it in the backlinks that I've got there before. But I've yet to do that, so let me just go back for now. And the Analysis channel, I might create something for that. I've mentioned a few times and see what I've written about in the past as well, but I created that as a topic or as a link because I know that I'm going to come back and try to summarize all the stuff that I'm going to chuck into there later. When I've documented these things, actually, when this note started off, I actually had all this was written in my daily notes initially. But then I decided, I want to actually put it into a proper note. So I took what was essentially like something like this, and then I did that thing before where you sort of highlight all of it, and then you right click, and then you extract the current selection, and then you put it into a different page. So all that eventually went into the Darby analysis discussion pipeline. So I want you to think about how to optimize my processes. YouTube storytelling.
Okay, so this Obsidian note, I'm actually going to leave this here, and I'm going to practice putting this in. Extract current selection. Okay. Wait, no, that's not what I want to do. So I'm at 32. He'll probably cover it again.
Is the tag I probably use the most on my Obsidian because I think a lot about how to tell YouTube stories, and you can see that I've just got it there just with a thought. I've created this hashtag 2 notes, which is something that I've created recently, where I might be like, there's a few notes that I feel like I need to make into like a proper note somehow, but I haven't had time before to do it, so I just put it into this 2 note hashtag, and then I can say like, oh yeah, like these are the things I thought I should really try to put this in a separate note before. So you can almost use it as like a to-do list system, right? In fact, you can literally use to do as a hashtag. For example, I need to read this case study, and when I'm done, I'll delete the to-do bit so it doesn't copy again. So that's the one way to do it. You can see that gets very, very quickly, but you can use Obsidian as like a kind of productivity system as well. Here, I've got a link for Hayao Miyazaki because he's a person, and I tend to use people as a concept or topic in themselves, right? Because I might collect different things from them. So when I go to his page, this is the end I mentioned him, so I haven't really beefed it out of it. But if I do more research on Hayao Miyazaki, then suddenly I'll chuck into this note. And here I've just included a quote from him just saying I should have seen some of the audience and more profound things in simple logic that guide the creation of story. So here I've just included the hashtag YouTube storytelling again in case I want to look at it. The reason for including more times in a single document is because I want to see it in the context of the document. Because actually when you search up here and you search tags, search YouTube, here like it comes up sort of expand to show more context. When you're writing hashtags, you're thinking about yourself searching for this potential thing in the future. It's not an archive. You don't want to just use hashtags willy-nilly to archive things like hashtag music, yay, because it doesn't have purpose behind it. But here with this, I have purpose. These are all individual actionable steps that I might take later, or individual concepts that I might take later, and compile it into like a proper action document or something. Of course, when you expand it, all that formatting, because kind of so quick with that, all that formatting is gone. Or if you're using live preview, then all the formatting is gone too. And of course, each of these individual things, like here, I've just included a link, some different screenshots of the link, and yeah, let me show you a few more examples. I think that's the thing that we're going to mess up this course. You can feel free to skip the video if you feel like you got it, but this is just more of an illustration. Damn, well, here's a depressing and vulnerable note, but let me show you. So here, I put it as hashtag YouTube psychology, and actually, this whole little mini essay is talking about how.
Let's see, put out videos and not get that many views. Specific reason hard because you have work. 50 hours per video.
how when you put out YouTube videos, especially when you're starting off, it can be very disheartening because your videos might just get 10 views or something, even though you put it to work for it, right? But maybe one day I'll come back and look at this note and someone's gonna ask me, hey, like let's say theoretically, I had 1 million subscribers or something like that. Maybe it'll happen, I'm not sure. So at that particular time, someone might ask me, hey, like what were you thinking during that time when you were like a small YouTuber? What were you thinking about like what you told me right now as like a small YouTuber, like with 10 subs? Like how do I get over this psychological barrier of trying to make more and more videos so I can make views? And I'll be like, oh well, hold on, let me think about it. I actually wrote a whole note about this back in the past. And then I'll got the link that was YouTube training, so I can summarize it into there. YouTube psychology, it's my little hashtag there. Here I've got some concepts that I might want you to think about again. Concepts like the exponential curve, and because I think that like exponential curves will probably come up later on in life as well in a lot of different ways. And because I fundamentally believe that you should try to do things in exponential rather than linear fashion. So I've created that as a link, even though it's got nothing inside of it yet. I've also got gradients. So one of this concepts talking about the concept of gradients and how I think in terms of I shouldn't really care where I'm at any particular stage in time. All I should really care about is how fast I'm improving at a particular thing. And so that's why I created a separate note for gradients. Gradients might also tie related concepts. So for example, the concept of gradient descent machine learning. Going back down here, you can see that quote thing that I talked about before links is coming back into showing you how it really works. Because I just decided I remember some stuff, so I quoted that into something to strategy. Here I've got stuff about achievement and goals, and I put hashtags for achievement and hashtag goals. It's not the strongest hashtag because hashtag goals is pretty vague, and I may not necessarily be searching for goals at any stage in time. I can see there's times that I've talked about in the past by holding down command and clicking on that. Oh, but actually it turns out I have used goals in the past, and maybe I can tie some information together, which I've thought about, and that's also really, really nice to see you do that. For example, talking about principles of habits. So much that's a new document or a new paint by holding command and clicking on it, and then being like, these are some principles that I found from having a close conversation with a friend, which is kind of cool. And I completely forgot about this. So if I wanted to compile, some information about like how do I achieve certain goals, I might be able to collect the stuff in this different hashtag. There's a thing called tag aliases. So for example, if you wanted to have tags as particular pages themselves and just make the tag and page automatically made, you can use that. But to be honest, like I tried doing that, and I don't really feel like you need to do that much. Because in the end, you don't really spend that much time worrying about the difference between hashtags and links that much. Fundamentally, if you're finding that you're referencing a concept a bunch of times, you're going to credit for it at some stage. So if you're like having a link where you can reference a node of a concept and compile different information to that, that's going to be more useful than having a tag which can't exist as a node, basically. Alright, so this is the longest video on links and hashtags that you ever get. It's the most detailed explanation you probably ever get, and hopefully it's one of the most useful as well. In this video, I'm going to talk about Zillow
Heck, Zealoticastin? Okay, we'll look into that. But one thing that he mentioned, and I'm not exactly sure, I probably should have thought about the fact that a lot of people probably can't keep up at 2.5, 3.5 times the speed. But one of the things that he mentioned that I really liked is the idea, hey, if I become, this is him speaking, he said, if I become a big YouTuber, there's going to be people who ask me, hey, how did you feel when you were a little YouTuber just starting? And he's going to be able to literally go back in his mind, in his archives, and share exactly how he felt, exactly what he was thinking, exactly in that moment where he was at, the metrics behind his channel. And so I find that very interesting. The idea that I'm immortalizing a state. It's almost like a save state in a video game if you've ever used like an emulator. And basically, you can save, let's say you're about to make a decision, you can save it before that moment, and then if you don't like the decision, you instantly just go back. And you're almost being able to do that with life, which is a really cool thing. And I'm going to write that down. All right, so I got to get going, but I'm going to continue to work on Obsidian throughout the day and throughout the week. And then I'll put my thoughts into a video that I'll display at the end of the week. So till the next one.